the family secret that was revealed at Thanksgiving. Before we begin the story, make sure to subscribe to our channel and never miss more incredible stories every day. Who sent you that photo? Sylvia asks, voice porcelain thin, gravy ladle suspended midair like a gavel. I'm Nora, 31, a community nurse who keeps people breathing in battered apartments and overheated waiting rooms. I love Thanksgiving because it's the one day I can pause without feeling guilty about it. Until this moment. The photo glows on my phone. A Thanksgiving table from the 90s, the same farmhouse, the same wallpaper, and a fourth high chair squeezed beside Max's. I was born in 1993. We didn't host toddlers in 94, Sylvia always says, because those were lean years. It popped up in the family album my friend digitized. I lie, watching her pupils shrink. Across from me, Max taps his fork twice, a soldier's signal, not now. The air smells like sage and a secret on broil. Priya leans in, whispering. EXIF data says November 24th, 1994, 5:08 p.m. Here. Sylvia's smile is a clasped purse. Put your phone away, Nora, she says. Let's be gracious guests to our own home. If I keep pressing, I could lose them all. Holidays, group texts, the only roots I've got. If I don't, I might lose something I can't name but already feel slipping, like breath. I raise my glass. To truth, I say lightly. Sylvia winces, and the crystal chimes like cut ice. Then my phone buzzes again, an unknown number, one line. Ask about the drawer in the buffet. The room tilts toward me. I pretend to sip as Sylvia's hand slides to the buffet's key. The key turns, but Sylvia's eyes say she'll burn the house first. We were a family that pretended to be unbreakable by rehearsing togetherness. Sylvia's Thanksgiving was choreography. Max carves, Nora plates. Priya handles dessert because she's modern. Our childhood snapshots look catalog clean. Matching sweaters, elbows off the table, gratitude spoken like lines. But symmetry is a rumor. I remember Max leaving the table at 12 after Sylvia corrected how he said cranberry, his clenched jaw mirrored in the serving spoon. I remember being told I was rescued by routine, that tradition keeps chaos away, that there's only one correct version of events, and she owns it. This year's fresh slight lands soft and mean. Nora, sweetheart, use the smaller spoon. Your hands look clumsy when the portion is generous. I'm a nurse. I draw blood in moving ambulances. My hands are the steadiest in the room. I laugh because the other option is rage. I catalog details like vital signs. Sylvia's pearl clip, the faint smear of toner on her thumb, the buffet, key now missing from its porcelain dish. When I was 9, I asked about a scar at my hairline. Sylvia said I'd fallen off a rocking horse in the old place, then blinked, because we never had one. Family is a compendium of shared mistakes we call memories. We trade them like recipes and pretend the ingredients don't change. Today, the casserole tastes the same because silence seasons everything. To truth, I'd said. Sylvia pours wine to the lip. My stomach drops. Priya texts under the table. You're not imagining it. Imagine less, Sylvia says, smiling at no one. Max mouths, drop it, and a drawer thuds shut somewhere we can't see. The oddity should have been nothing, a photo with a high chair. But oddities breed like rumors when you can't look away. During dessert, Sylvia sends me to fetch the good napkins from the buffet. The top drawer holds linens folded into origami swans. The second sticks, then opens with a surrendered sigh. Inside, a rubber-banded stack of Polaroids, a tangle of ribbon, and a baptismal card with someone else's name. Evelyn Hart welcomes. The ink blurs where a drop of something fell, long ago. Find anything? Sylvia's voice drifts from the dining room, casual like a tripwire. Just napkins. Priya gestures for a photo. I snap one quick. The card's filigree. The date. December 18th, 94. My pulse climbs. We didn't host toddlers in 94. Sylvia repeats when I return, as if my question is a stain she can treat. Was there a baby here? I ask soft. Forks pause midair. Don't be dramatic, Max says roughly. It was a neighbor's kid in a chair Dad built. We never knew our neighbors well. Sylvia said people complicate holiday energy. The room tightens like an O2 mask strapped too hard. We really don't need your detective phase, Sylvia adds. It's Thanksgiving. I swallow. I'm not dramatic. I'm trained to ask what hurts and why. Priya's thumb flies. EXIF matches tablecloth pattern introduced 1994 receipts. When I glance up, Sylvia's smile is a zipper. We should play charades, she chirps. Some of us enjoy attention in healthier ways. The baptism card's date branded my brain like a burn scar. A lock clicks again, but this time from the basement door. I step toward the basement, and Max gets there first. Laundry, he announces, loud enough for Sylvia to hear. He plants himself like a guardrail. I'm supposed to be the pliable one. Tonight, I feel stubborn as bone. It was a neighbor's kid, he repeats. Drop it. Sylvia, reorganizing cutlery that's already aligned, murmurs. Nora, respect the day. Respect the day is how we say lie later. I force a smile and carve pie too neatly. Priya sets down her plate with a clink just sharp enough to be a message. I'll help Nora, she offers. I have to fix the Wi-Fi anyway. Sylvia beams. Of course you'd be our tech hero. In the living room, Priya opens her laptop like a confession booth. The unknown text came from a VoIP, she says. Area code local. And the EXIF on your photo, no edits. I pull up county records, public index. A search for Hart, Evelyn, pulls a death certificate, 1998, cardiac arrest, age 26. This isn't random, I whisper. The baptism card matches her name. Priya chews her lip. Look at the notarized amendment on Grandma's will, filed December 23, 1994. Why amendable 5 days after a baptism? Footsteps. Max stands in the doorway, eyes flinty. What are you two doing? Paying the internet bill with curiosity, Priya says. He stares me down. If you love this family, don't turn dinner into a courtroom. I feel 12 again, then 31, then something unrecognizable and dangerous. Behind Max, the basement doorknob gleams. Priya slips a bobby pin into my palm without looking up. Max whispers, "You will regret what you find," and kills the lights. The power flickers back with a chorus of polite laughter from the dining room, as if nothing happened. In my pocket, Priya's bobby pin, warm from her hair, a tiny sword. I'm not your enemy, Max mutters when we're alone in the hallway. He looks older suddenly, the protector who can't protect the lie. You think you're saving us, but you just like puzzles. I save strangers for a living. I say, I'd like to save us too. Sylvia calls. Max, slice more turkey. Nora, sit by me. Orders like place cards. At the table, she tucks a strand of my hair behind my ear like a benediction. You always overwork yourself, she says brightly. And then you pick fights when you're tired. I asked one question. You insinuated, she corrects gently, the velvet knife. And you spoil moments. Priya clears her throat. We could play gratitude bingo, she suggests, filling the air with noise. Max passes me the carving knife hilt first like a warning. The text buzzes again, drawer. Or the tin in the basement freezer. Tin. Freezer. My stomach flips. Priya taps my foot. She's mapped the house Wi-Fi. Her screen reads, device, unknown_94 connected. Sylvia raises her glass. Tradition matters, she says. It's how we know who we are. I look around at crystal and candlesticks and the family script we never deviate from. Tradition can be anesthesia. Anesthesia can be abuse if you never wake up. To gratitude, Max says, throat tight. I sip and make a choice I can't unmake. If this burns everything down, so be it. I stand and carry dishes to the kitchen, heart like a siren. My hand closes on the freezer handle as footsteps rush behind me. It's Sylvia. She glides in with a smile that's all gums and warning. The freezer sticks, she says, taking the handle. She opens it herself, exhales white fog, and retrieves a tin of gingerbread men wrapped in aging parchment. No tin under the tin, no secret compartment, just cookies stamped with perfect buttons. You really must stop dramatizing appliances, she murmurs. The moment feels petty and enormous. I let the freezer sigh shut and pivot to the pantry, where the basement key used to hang on a nail inside a chipped mug. Empty mug, ghost ring of rust on porcelain. When I return to the table, a new place card has appeared beside mine, calligraphed, Attorney Sue. My eyes jump to Sylvia. For the inheritance talk next week, she trills. Clarity is love. Priya's phone lights. Notification, shared drive updated. Folder, house docs. We slip away again. She pulls the folder. Inside is a duplicate birth certificate for me, 2 PDFs with the same seal and different certificate numbers. One lists mother, Sylvia and Whitaker, November 25, 1993, St. Bridget's. The other lists mother, E. Hart, place of birth home, attending in Whitaker, RN. That's grandma, I breathe. Nurse Whitaker. The second document is watermarked amended 1996. Priya's eyes meet mine. Nora, this is big. My pulse is a hummingbird. My training kicks in. Scan, document, verify. I save screenshots, note timestamps, and copy hashes to ensure chain of custody. Why amend it? I whisper, and the room feels tilted over a well. A mismatch like this can't be chalked up to sloppiness, Priya says. A calendar alert pops up. Sue, Conference Room 3, Monday, Guardianship Revision. Saturday morning, I drive to the county records office, knuckles white on the steering wheel. The clerk's name tag reads Frank. His voice is syrupy and tired. Public computer, third station, he says. County records, index search, Hart, Evelyn, brings up birth of a female infant November 24, 94, sealed adoption notation February 14, 96, file hashtag 94, BR, 1180. My name is not listed. The infant is baby girl Hart. I check probate. Grandma's will amendment appears December 23, 94, notary. C. Maddox, adding a clause about provisions for dependent minors residing in household. We didn't have dependent minors in 1994, if our mythology is true. I request the hospital archive at St. Bridget's. The archivist tells me their 1993 to 1995 paper logs were digitized last year. Proof of identity, she says. My hands don't shake when I show my license. On screen, Nurse N. Whitaker signs out a home birth kit, November 24, 94, address matches our farmhouse. 2 days later, an intake visit logged infant check, weight 7 pounds 2 ounces. I feel the outline of my skull from the inside. I call Priya on the sidewalk. We had a newborn in the house, I say. On Thanksgiving. A voice behind me. I figured you'd get here. It's our old neighbor, Mrs. Keegan, hair silver and eyes full of no surprises. Your grandmother brought me soup when my husband died, she says. And we brought you blankets that winter because the furnace was fickle. Winter of 94. Me? I ask. She blinks slowly. I said more than I should. Her glance darts to the courthouse door, then to my phone. Ask your mother about the baby monitor in the pantry, she says. The pantry. I tear it apart Sunday night, while Sylvia attends Vespers, which is what she calls any event that keeps her predictable. Behind a stack of roasting pans, I find an old baby monitor receiver, yellowed plastic, cord wrapped neat as a noose. Tucked beneath it, a Polaroid labeled First Night Home in Grandma's steady hand. The image swallows me. The farmhouse kitchen, the lamp I still use, and a sleeping infant in a basket between 2 chairs. A folded slip of paper falls out. Insurance EOB, explanation of benefits, dated December 2, 94, home visit, infant check, policyholder in, Whitaker, patient baby girl Hart. The what crystallizes. A covert adoption happened in our kitchen. A baby girl born to Evelyn Hart, brought home under Grandma's care, raised by Sylvia as whom? If not me. I whisper to the air that tastes like dust and cardamom. Who? My chest tightens as a nurse's reflex triggers. Medical history, allergies, hereditary risks. What did I fill in on every medical form? Family history unknown. Priya's text pings. Pulled metadata on those PDFs. One created 2006 by a firm called Sue and Maddox LLP. Attorney Sue. Notary Maddox. My stomach lurches. Why the secrecy? Did Evelyn die? Did Sylvia protect or erase? And where is baby girl Hart now? A thought I've been skirting finally floods me. What if baby girl Hart isn't me at all, but someone else in the house? Footsteps creak above. Sylvia is home early and humming, "Oh Holy Night." The baby monitor flickers to life with static and a single soft breath. I need clean lines, documents, timestamps, witnesses. I photograph everything with my work phone, upload to a new encrypted drive, and email attorney Sue pretending to confirm Monday's meeting about guardianship revisions, CCing Max, to make it impossible to vanish. Priya pings, backup complete. Hash is stored offline. We map out the reveal like a hospital code. Stimulus, Response, escalation. I print the county record citations, file hashtag 94, BR, 1180, the EOB, the nurse log from St. Bridget's, and the duplicate birth certificates. I set reminders to note a chain of custody on each. The question of approach gnaws at me. Do I confront Sylvia privately and risk being buried, or force daylight while everyone is present? Priya is firm. Predators thrive in private rooms, she says softly. Control thrives in private rooms too. She's not a predator, I protest. She's curated. Priya's face doesn't soften. Curation is a prettier word for control. We agree to a post-dessert toast that isn't a toast. Max texts separately, don't humiliate her. Please. I type and delete 3 replies before sending. Then she'll need to tell the truth. I sleep on the couch, shoes on, documents in a folder under my back like a brittle spine. At 3:07 a.m. I check the baby monitor again. It's dead plastic. My nerves write weather inside me. I picture Evelyn Hart at 26 and wonder if fear is an inherited trait. At dawn, a voicemail arrives from an unknown number, a woman's voice. I think I'm your sister. She adds, they named me Grace, and the line goes abruptly silent. I call back immediately. Voicemail. I text, Grace, how did you get my number? 3 dots, then nothing. 10 minutes later, Sylvia sweeps into the kitchen with a bouquet-sized bundle of carrots because presentation matters. Sleep well? She asks too brightly. Like a witness, I say. Her smile doesn't crack. Nora, if you're going to be theatrical tonight, perhaps take your bow now and spare the family. We're not performing, I say. We're telling the truth. She reaches to adjust the collar of my sweater, fingers cool and precise. Truth without context is cruelty, she says. Remember that when you wound your brother. Max arrives, coffee/shield in hand. Let it go, he says under his breath. If you love us, choose peace. Peace isn't a choice if it's built on lies, I answer. Priya enters with a stack of slides, like we're at a conference. Game night, she chirps. Sylvia's eyes narrow, clocking the theater we're staging. For one wobbling second, I almost cave. I could delete everything, eat pie, and pretend the baby monitor isn't breathing in my head. Priya squeezes my wrist. Breathe, she mouths. Vitals stable. My pager buzzes. My clinic needs someone to cover a shift. I write back, unavailable, family emergency, and feel the cost in my bones. Max catches my eye, hurt and warning welded together. Sylvia lifts the carving knife. Let's make tonight unforgettable. The doorbell rings, and attorney Sue steps into our dining room with a leather folio. Behind Sue, a woman my age hovers, eyes rimmed red, whispering grace. We set the living room like a theater in the round. Sylvia insists we do a quick consult with Sue before dessert to spare indigestion. I cue Priya's laptop to mirroring mode. Max perches at the edge of the sofa, ready to intercept live grenades. Grace keeps to the doorway, fingers braided, a tremor passing through her like a secret wave. Sue opens calmly, voice sanded smooth. We're here to review proposed guardianship adjustments for Mrs. Whitaker in light of potential future needs, he says. Sylvia wants clarity. So do I say, standing. And I have material to clarify. Sue inclines his head. Proceed. Priya taps the spacebar. Slide 1. County Records Index. Hart, Evelyn. Birth November 24th, 94. File hashtag 94, BR, 1180. Adoption sealed February 14th, 96. Slide 2. Street Bridget's Archive. Home birth kit checkout. Nurse in, Whitaker, address, our farmhouse. Slide 3. Insurance EOB. Infant check December 2nd, 94. Policy, in, Whitaker. Slide 4. Duplicate birth certificates. 2 mothers, 2 numbers, 1 child allegedly me. Grace's breath hitches audibly. Sylvia's face goes low battery gray. You're misreading, she says, but the diction is brittle. Max rubs his temples. I hold the line. We had a newborn in this house during Thanksgiving 1994, I say. The records say she was Evelyn Hart's daughter. Her adoption was sealed in 1996. Where's that child? Silence makes shape around us. Sylvia plucks at an invisible thread on her skirt. Some stories are not yours to tell, she says. Some were promised to the dead. Grace steps forward, pushing up her sleeve to reveal a birthmark like mine. I am that story, she says, and I'm done being promised away. We fall into a quiet so loud it's almost sirens. Sue closes his folio and folds his hands. Mrs. Whitaker, he says gently, we should proceed carefully. Sylvia exhales as if surfacing from decades under. Your grandmother brought her here, she begins. Evelyn was my friend. The word friend lands crooked. The father? I ask. Sylvia's eyes flick to Max, then back. Not your concern. Medical history is always my concern. I say, the nurse in me refusing to sit. Sylvia looks at Grace, and something maternal beats once in her expression and disappears. Evelyn was in danger, she says. We took the baby until it was safe. Then Evelyn died. Sue interjects, voice precise. To be accurate, the adoption was formalized in 1996 with consents signed by Ms. Hart's mother. My predecessor, Mr. Maddox, handled it. Priya flashes the amended will dated December 23, 94. Why the will change? I ask. Provisions for the child living in the home, Sue answers. Sylvia digs her nails into her palm. We planned to raise her, she says. Until another family came forward. Her gaze lands on me for the first time like a confession. You were never that baby, Nora. Lightning forks my insides. Then who? Max stands so fast the glass rattles. It was me, he says, voice shaking. I knew. He looks at Grace. I used to bring you bottles in the night so Mom could sleep. The bottom drops out again, reassembling new. Grace steps towards Sylvia. Why lie to me? She asks softly. You let me grow up thinking I was rejected. Sylvia says, I lied to protect Max, and the room collectively stops breathing. Protect him from what? I ask, as Sue's eyes flick to the door. What did you protect him from? I repeat, my voice steadier than I feel. Sylvia's chin lifts. From his father's temper and the scandal that would have gutted us. Who is his father? Grace asks, tone flint. Sue clears his throat. We don't have to, we do. I cut in. Sylvia looks at her hands. A married man, she says finally. Influential. He paid to keep things quiet. Priya brings up a 1998 settlement from a trust, $25,000 to Hart family, memo medical and relocation. Disclosure. Sue warns crisply, eyes on the ceiling as if ethics hover there. The consequences unspool. Grace has a right to medical history and records. The sealed adoption can be petitioned for access. Grandmas may have misdirected supports. Legally, we step into a maze with signposts. Emotionally, I'm barefoot. Max's face crumples. Dad didn't know? He asks. He only knew how to perform tradition, Sylvia says bleakly. I thought I could carry it to my grave. Grace wipes at her eyes, then straightens. Here's what I want, she says. Access to my file. A public apology, my mom's things returned, and no more lies to your son or mine. Her voice shakes, but holds. I think about my clinic, about telling families bad news kindly. There is no kind way to say your map was wrong. Sue nods slowly. I can prepare a petition and a statement, he says. It will be public. Sylvia flinches at the word like it's a slap. I pay a price too. My supervisor calls twice. I miss my shift. I am the nurse who couldn't show up tonight. Sylvia whispers, if the town knows, I will never forgive you. Then learn how not to be forgiven. I say, and hit send. The week after Thanksgiving is triage. Sue files the petition to unseal. Grace receives a provisional summary of medical history. Maternal cardiac risk. Early screening recommended. We draft a restitution plan. Return Evelyn's keepsakes, her locket, 3 letters, and a crib quilt we thought was Grandma's. Sylvia signs a written apology, 2 pages, not the airy paragraph she preferred, with dates and specifics per Sue's advice. Max starts therapy with the clinic counselor. I go too, because anger is heavy and I've been carrying it like lead. Boundaries, the counselor says, circling the word. What does yours look like? Mine looks like no more secrets and no guardianship maneuvers without my consent. It looks like my own advance directive, facts in ink, signatures real. Sylvia rages quietly, scrubbing already clean sinks. Rage is a room, she understands. She leaves voicemails about how you threw me to wolves, and then another about how the town librarian hugged her in the produce aisle. Priya sets up a shared drive where all documents live, with access logs. We schedule a cardiology appointment for Grace, Tuesday at 9. Max brings her tea afterward and returns the baby monitor, now a relic on our mantle instead of a ghost in the pantry. I make a rule. Holidays are for ritual, but ritual doesn't outrank reality. When Sylvia tries to push a new narrative, I hand her the apology to reread. She asks, small for once, "Can you still call me Mom?" and waits like a child. "Yes, if you stop calling lies tradition," I say, and she nods once. On the first Sunday of Advent, the farmhouse smells like coffee and old wood and something lighter, like windows cracked in winter. Grace sits at the table with Max, comparing birthmarks like shiny scars after surgery. Priya prints the county records receipt and tapes it to the folder like a medal. I stack everything in order: evidence, dates, amounts, sources, because clarity is a kindness we deserved earlier. Thanksgiving taught me that love without truth is performance, and truth without love is a weapon. Families pick one or the other until someone refuses the binary and chooses both. That was my choice. It cost shifts at work, a shriveled reputation in certain eyes, and a new scar on the story of a woman who wanted control more than closeness. It bought a sister I didn't know I had, a mother learning to apologize in full sentences, and a brother who looks at me like a teammate instead of a traitor. If you're watching this because your holiday cracked and something spilled out, here's the practical part. Document everything. Write times, save copies, get names, ask for file numbers, bring someone principled to stand beside you. And remember that boundaries are not punishments, they are care. The hopeful image I carry is simple. 2 chairs at a kitchen table that finally fits us all, a retired baby monitor that doesn't have to guard anyone anymore, and a pie cooling while no one lies about where the recipe came from. And when secrets knock, answer with witnesses, paper, and the calm voice you earned.